Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Learning Biology with Dr. Vanessa, where I take difficult biological concepts and make them easy to understand. Today, we are going through our series in introducing the human body, covering the necessary foundations that you need to excel in anatomy and physiology. In this video, we will be taking a look at body cavities and the membranes that line and protect them. The human body is not one big open space. It's organized into body cavities, which are internal compartments that house and protect your organs. These cavities allow for movement, expansion, and separation of different body systems. We'll start with the two major body cavities, the dorsal body cavity and the ventral cavity, and break each one of those cavities down. The dorsal body cavity is towards the back or posterior of the body. It protects the central nervous system and has two subdivisions. The cranial cavity, which holds the brain and is enclosed by the skull, and the vertebral or spinal cavity. This contains the spinal cord protected by the vertebrae. These two cavities are continuous with each other and lined by meninges, which are protective membranes that we'll touch on shortly. The ventral cavity is at the front or anterior of the body and is larger and more complex. It contains two main subdivisions separated by the diaphragm. The thoracic cavity, which is above the diaphragm, and the abdominopelvic cavity, which is below the diaphragm. The thoracic cavity houses the lungs and heart, and it's divided further, where we have pleural cavities, one for each lung, and then the pericardial cavity, which contains the heart. The mediastinum is the central space between the lungs, and it contains the heart, esophagus, trachea, and major blood vessels. The abdominopelvic cavity is considered one space, but it's functionally divided into the abdominal cavity, which contains digestive organs like the stomach, liver, intestines, and kidneys, and the pelvic cavity, which holds the bladder, reproductive organs, and part of the large intestine. Unlike the thoracic cavity, there's no physical wall separating the abdominal and pelvic cavities. Now that we know where the body's cavities are located, let's talk about the membranes that protect the organs within them. The serous membranes are thin, double-layered membranes that line the walls of the ventral cavities and cover the organs within them. These layers reduce friction and allow smooth organ movement. Each serous membrane has two layers, the parietal layer, which lines the cavity wall, and the visceral layer that covers the surface of the organ. Between these layers is serous fluid, which acts as a lubricant. You'll encounter specific serous membranes in different regions, each with a special name. Pleura surrounds the lungs, pericardium surrounds the heart, and the peritoneum lines the abdominopelvic cavity and covers many of its organs. In contrast, the dorsal cavity that houses the brain and spinal cord is protected by meninges, which are three connective tissue layers. They include the dura mater, the arachnoid mater, and the pia mater. These layers provide both physical protection and help circulate cerebrospinal fluid, which cushions the brain and spinal cord. In the video on the central nervous system anatomy, we will cover the meninges in more detail. So let's recap. The body is organized into dorsal and ventral cavities, each with their own subdivisions. These cavities not only house and protect organs, but allow for vital functions like expansion, contraction, and movement. Lining these cavities are membranes like serous membranes in the ventral cavity and meninges in the dorsal cavity that cushion, separate, and support the organs inside. As we continue studying anatomy, knowing the layout of the body and how it's compartmentalized will help you better understand how organs are structured, how diseases spread, and how surgeons access different body regions. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you found this helpful, Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on new content. We're building a solid foundation in anatomy and physiology, and I'm so glad you're here learning with me. I'll see you in the next video.